The Holy Book, Sefer Kav Hayashar, Episode 3. King David began the book of Tehillim with the words, "Fortunate is the man who has not walked in the counsel of the wicked, nor did he sit in the gathering of the scoffers." 1.1. Similarly, our rabbis have said in Pirkei Avos, when two people sit together and there are no words of Torah between them, it is a gathering of scoffers. 3.2. Since on account of our many sins, this is a very common circumstance, a person must pay careful heed to this warning. Whenever he sits with his companions, he must be certain that the discussion consists of words of Torah or character development or awe of the heaven. It goes without saying that he must avoid the company of scoffers and idlers who sit together engaging in frivolity. For in the course of their endless chatter, they inevitably come to utter words of mockery and derogatory speech, thereby giving rise to harmful forces that inflict damage upon their souls. Therefore, whoever fears the word of Hashem will distance himself from such company. You should know that there is a certain category of malignant spirits called Kasilim, wicked fools, that have been appointed to appear to a man walking along the road alone at night. Sometimes they appear as a group of men and seduce him into joining their company. Sometimes they appear in the form of an inn or a hotel, shining forth a light to entice him to approach. He believes that he is on his way to a nearby hotel or inn, but they draw him farther and farther from the way. It is common for them to lead him into marshes and other places of filth, or into a forest or among the swamps where his life is imperiled. These same spirits are appointed over those who gather to relate frivolous tales that are of no benefit. They are also the destroying spirits called the workers of iniquity, that record all words of mockery and forbidden speech in a book on high called the workers of iniquity. When the time comes for these people to meet their end groups of these Kasilim, come out to meet them and strike at their souls. Then they take them out to the desert or a marsh and inflict terrible suffering upon their souls. Therefore, one must keep away from these gatherings. It need not be said that if one sees people quarreling, one must flee from them, for that is a gathering place for malignant spirits, and assemble wherever there is bickering and quarreling. From all this, one can deduce the harm that is done by speaking frivolity in the synagogue, a place of sanctity designed to reverberate with the sound of song and praise and supplication. See what is written in the Zohar, Parshas Teruma, 131b. Woe to the one who converses in the synagogue. He has no portion in the God of Israel, for he detracts from faith in the King. Examine the rest of what is written there, because I have greatly abbreviated the matter. We are his people and his flock. Each of us must erect his own protective fences to prevent him from speaking any mundane words in the synagogue at all. For on account of this seemingly small matter, one loses his portion in the God of Israel. Heaven forbid! As it is written in the Zohar. A person should be especially careful not to utter words of mockery or tale-bearing in the synagogue, for the dwelling place of the Shekhinah is in the synagogue and study halls. When people are not careful to refrain from jocularity, lightheadedness, tale-bearing, and derogatory speech in the synagogue, it causes the Shekhinah to depart from Israel. In this connection, the Zohar, Tikkun 622b, ascribes to the Shekhinah the verse, "And the dove found no resting place." As a result of this sin, numerous synagogues have been destroyed to our chagrin, because people allowed the side of evil to mix into the camp of the Shekhinah, which was to have been entirely holy. It is not good to bring foreign matters into the places of holiness. Therefore, a person should be careful whenever he engages in holy matters not to cause malignant spirits to mix in. Heaven forbid. You should be aware of what is written in the Zohar, Parshas Pekudei 263b. There we learn that there is one agent on the side of evil that looks out for and awaits anyone who allows a disgraceful utterance to leave his mouth, whether it be deceit, derogatory speech, tale-bearing, mockery, or anything similar, and afterwards utters words of holiness. That agent, accompanied by other malignant spirits under its command, then goes and takes that holy utterance and defiles it so that the speaker receives no credit for it. For the malignant spirits take those words of holiness and derive and augment their own power with them. Woe to that person in this world. Woe to him in the next world. And the cause of all this was excessive speech. For in the course of speaking excessively, it is impossible to avoid a mixture of good in the bad and bad in the good. Through this side of evil gains power and strength, heaven forbid. Therefore, it is better for a person to accustom his mouth and tongue to uttering words of awe and admonishment, to speaking the holy tongue, which is the refined language that benefits the soul. Our rabbis explain that from the nature of a person's speech, one can discern the source of his soul on high. If he is accustomed to speaking imprecations or words of contention, it is clear that his soul derives from the side of evil, the source of the serpent and the viper. He is not from the holy stock, but from the mixed multitude. And even if his father and mother are modest and pious, nevertheless, his soul is a reincarnation of a soul from the mixed multitude. The same is true if his mouth utters frivolity or crudity. Heaven forbid. The Ari, Zecher Livracha, explains that one who speaks crudity impairs the attribute represented by the moon, inverting the letters of the word Levana, moon, and changing them to Nevala, crudity. Heaven forbid. The different kinds of harmful speech are too numerous to elaborate upon. Even 10 chapters would not suffice to mention the magnitude of the punishments they evoke. Therefore, I will simply issue this brief admonishment. A person must know that a mouth that is fenced in and guarded against utter slander and imprecations, and that does not engage in forbidden speech or mockery, is called a holy mouth. And with it, the Holy One, blessed is He, may be praised. Moreover, if a person is immersed in Torah study, prayer, songs, and praises, the Holy One, blessed is He, takes his utterances and makes them into a crown for his head, provided that he prays with intention. A man should select a fixed place in the synagogue to pray, next to a good neighbor, someone who is upright and honest. Conversely, let him distance himself from a bad neighbor so that he will not come to stumble through emulating his ways. Heaven forbid. If it is impossible to distance himself from a bad neighbor because no other seats are available, let him rebuke him daily. Perhaps he will find a favorable moment in which his rebuke will be accepted, and perhaps in this way his colleague will benefit through him. But if he sees that the man is evil-natured and lawless and unbending in his wickedness, let him abandon his place and go in peace.